Welcome back. I'm your instructor, and today we're tackling the TOEFL read and email task. This part of the exam tests your ability to grasp the main point and find specific details in common workplace communications. Let's dive into this 3-question set and learn how to spot the information that matters most. If you're finding these tips helpful, make sure to subscribe to myTOEFL for more expert strategies. Let's keep working toward your target score together. Staff Alpine Summit It, Temet It. The recipient is Staff Alpine Summit It, which indicates that this message contains important information intended for the entire workforce. H. Fletcher Pine Summit It, The email is sent from H. Fletcher Pine Summit It, suggesting a professional internal communication within the Pine Summit It company. 017-8T21225. The date is 70-08-2025, and in TOEFL tasks, tracking dates is vital because they often relate to deadlines or when new policies begin. New security access policy for the office parking garage. The subject line, New Security Access Policy, immediately signals the main topic. It tells us that the office is changing how people enter the parking garage, which prepares us for a set of instructions. Dear colleagues. By using the greeting, Dear Colleagues, the sender establishes a professional yet inclusive tone suitable for a company-wide announcement. Starting August 1st, we are implementing a new digital access system for the underground parking garage to improve security. This opening sentence sets the timeline, stating that the change is starting August 1st. The phrase implementing a new digital access system tells us exactly what is changing and why, to improve security. All employees who drive to work must register their license plate numbers via the HAR portal by July 25th. Here we see a clear requirement: employees must register their info. Notice the specific deadline by July 25th, which is a classic detailed TOEFL questions might target. Beginning on the launch date, the entrance gates will automatically recognize registered vehicles. Moving into the second paragraph, the text explains the mechanics of the system, specifically how gates will automatically recognize cars. This suggests a shift from manual checks to automated technology. If you haven't registered, the barrier will remain closed, and you will need to speak with the security guard at the side entrance. The instructor should note the if conditional here. If a driver fails to act, the barrier will remain closed, forcing them to take the side entrance, which highlights the consequences of not registering. Please note that parking permits are non-transferable and are valid only for the specific car listed in your profile. This sentence introduces a restriction, explicitly stating that permits are non-transferable. By saying they are valid only for the specific car, the text emphasizes that you cannot swap permits between different vehicles. New windshield stickers will also be distributed next Tuesday at the main reception desk. Finally, the author adds a logistical detail about windshield stickers. The phrase "at the main reception desk" provides a specific location that we should keep in mind for detail-oriented questions. Best regards. The closing "best regards" is a standard professional sign-off that maintains the formal but respectful tone of the email. Howard Fletcher. Howard Fletcher. The sender is Howard Fletcher, who likely holds an administrative or facilities management role, given the nature of the parking garage update. What is the main purpose of the email? This question asks for the main purpose of the email. We need to identify the primary reason Howard wrote this, rather than focusing on minor details. Now, keeping this in mind, let's look at our options. Let's take a closer look at option A. To provide instructions on a new parking entry system. This option is very strong because the text is filled with instructions about the new digital access system. It accurately captures the overall goal of the message, so we should keep it. Now let's examine option B. To announce the hiring of a new garage manager. While Howard Fletcher is the sender, there is no mention of hiring or a new garage manager in the text. This is a distractor that we can eliminate. Here's option C. Let's break it down. To inform staff of a local construction project on the main road. The email is about the office parking garage, not a construction project on a main road. This option misidentifies the location and the nature of the news. Finally, let's consider option D. To request a change in the company's work-from-home schedule. The text never mentions a work-from-home schedule. It focuses entirely on people who drive to work. We can safely rule this out. The correct answer to this question is option A, since the passage clearly outlines the steps and deadlines for the upcoming parking garage changes. Where should staff go to pick up their new windshield stickers? This is a specific detail question asking about a location. We need to find the phrase windshield stickers in the text and see where they will be given out. Now, keeping this in mind, let's look at our options. Let's take a closer look at option A, the underground parking office. In the station, although the parking garage is the subject of the email, the text doesn't say stickers are at a parking office. We must be careful not to assume locations not explicitly mentioned. Now let's examine option B, the main reception area. This matches the text perfectly. Paragraph 3 states that stickers will be distributed at the main reception desk. This confirms that the main reception area is the correct location. Here's option C. Let's break it down. The HR online portal. Online portal. The HR portal is where employees must register their license plates, but it is not the physical place to pick up stickers. Finally, let's consider option D, side entrance gate. The side entrance is mentioned as the place to go if the gate stays closed, not for picking up stickers. This is a location-based distractor. Therefore, the correct answer is option B, because the text explicitly identifies that location for the distribution of the stickers. What can be inferred about the parking policy starting in August? This inference question asks us to draw a logical conclusion about the parking policy. We need to find a statement that must be true based on the provided facts. Now, keeping this in mind, let's look at our options. Let's take a closer look at option A. Permits are only required for staff working after normal hours. The text says all employees who drive must register, not just those working after normal hours. This narrows the scope incorrectly. Now let's examine option B. Employees may share a single permit among several personal vehicles. The passage explicitly states that permits are non-transferable, which contradicts the idea that staff can share a single permit. We can eliminate this. Here's option C. Let's break it down. The identification system is linked to a specific car's data. He has our ISET. Since the gates automatically recognize vehicles and permits are valid only for the specific car, we can infer the identification system is linked to that specific car's data. This is a logical deduction based on the registration requirement. Finally, let's consider option D. Security personnel will no longer be present at the building. The text actually mentions a security guard at the side entrance, so saying personnel will no longer be present is factually incorrect based on the passage. The correct answer to this question is option C, since the text confirms that the system relies on recognizing specific registered vehicles. To succeed on read and email questions, always pay close attention to dates, specific locations, and mandatory requirements. Focus on the who, what, and when to avoid falling for distractors that shift the scope of the message. Practice identifying the main purpose quickly by looking at the subject line and the first paragraph. Keep up the great work and you'll master these tasks in no time.